Welcome to the E2Tech podcast, the Environmental and Energy Technology Council of Maine. I'm Orion Breen, and with me today is...
I'm Elizabeth Bialowski, and I'm the Programs and Operations Manager at E2Tech.
And I guess I should say I'm the new Executive Director of E2Tech. Excited to be here, excited to launch this new podcast. One of our first guests, Matt Gamache, Competitive Energy Services. What did you learn today in our conversation? What were your key takeaways, Elizabeth?
We learned a lot about the various stakeholders and things that are at play right now for how we're thinking about energy, both as the state of Maine and on a national and on a global level too. You know, there are so many different angles that we can go around the idea of grid resilience. And I think that factors in a lot to energy independence, which are probably two of the hottest topics right now. Globally when it comes to economic development as well as just infrastructural development.
Any topic that we discussed that really stuck out to you? I think that's a good overview of the conversation.
Yeah, data centers are one of the biggest topics happening in our country right now. And I think also just the information that we have around AI doesn't feel consistent around different people in different industries. One of the takeaways that I guess I had from that is how do we, as an industry in Maine, talk about the benefits of utilizing AI across our industries for, net benefit avenues, while also recognizing some of the shortcomings of AI right now and its energy usage. And there being a true middle ground in between those things.
I was actually talking to somebody this morning who works in the startup space in Maine, and they were talking about how they participate in the Blue Economy event, and they got the feeling that people didn't want to talk about AI,
Yeah.
and which is kind of surprising because you have a tremendous amount of data collection that goes into aquaculture and our ocean economy. Is there a role that, the pattern recognition that AI can do could help us navigate that data and make better decisions in our working waterfront economy?
Yeah, and I definitely think that there is an avenue for that. I can be critical about some aspects of AI since my background was in education. And we're seeing, a lot of detrimental impacts of generative AI usage on student critical thought development. But on the flip, there's also usages of AI that can really also bring down our overall energy usage and reduce waste in there. I think there was a story about a small village in Wales that they would put on their electric tea kettles at the exact same time after the evening talk show that they watched, and being able to plan for the grid for always being at its peak during that exact same time is a job that AI has been able to do effectively while also reducing it in different hours where we have a lot of waste right now of our energy running rampant at times so that we're not actually utilizing the benefits of that. So having some kind of AI usage there actually can bring people's energy consumption down in some ways too.
That's really funny and interesting. It makes me think, is there a way to incentivize tea kettle behavior so that somebody starts tea kettle at 5 and the other person at 5:05 and the other person at 5:10, and even that little adjustment could end up saving folks money in the long run in their peak shaving demand, especially in the winter cold months that we experience now, where I got my email of my utility bill and your jaw's on the floor.
Yeah.
It's been a cold winter. It's been tough. And I think that was one of the things that stuck out to me in the conversation is how do all these things tie into affordability? You have politicians saying affordability is top priority, yet some of their policies don't necessarily reflect that. And how can we get, as Matthew McIntyre said, Representative McIntyre said at our legislative breakfast, he said, electrons have a charge of -1, but they should be politically neutral. And so, politics doesn't change physics.
Right.
And so how do we make fact-based policy decisions and not vilify people we disagree with, but recognize that people have valid concerns, and if we want to increase the positives of policies and mitigate their potential unintended negatives, then we need to listen to each other and not vilify each other. And that idea of stability being super important for investment that we chat about with Matt today was also a hot topic at the legislative breakfast. And so definitely looking to have more programming discussing what Matt covered today in our podcast. And definitely, I think there's an opportunity to talk about the idea of data centers and what can be their positive and negatives in the energy space. So lots of programming coming up. Check us out at E2Tech.org. Thanks for listening to today's podcast. Thank you, Elizabeth. And look forward to seeing you at one of our live events or webinars. So have a good listen. Have a great day.
Thank you.
E2Tech Podcast.